A female scientist time travels to a primal world and becomes the rain goddess, accidentally unlocking her rainmaking abilities. To return home, she must transform the desert into a forest. But to make it rain, she has to kiss a handsome man. Little did she know, the handsome Lion King becomes addicted to kissing her. He wants to marry her and make her his female companion. They haven't even had enough of their time together, when other beasts also come to ask for her hand in marriage. The girl's name is Lin Mingyue. It's a 21st century zoological research institute, researching new species. This is an experimental subject, the result of years of gene recombination and cultivation by the Jiuquan Biological Research Group. Lin Mingyue is responsible for observation and recording. The experimental subject is currently in the incubation stage. Suddenly, the cocoon enclosing the experimental subject cracks with a click. Lin Mingyue, who has been waiting, cries out in excitement. The incubation egg has split. The new species is about to be born. I never thought working overtime would let me witness history. Lin Mingyue immediately took out her phone to take pictures and post them on her moments. The AS2's shape resembled a shimmering, iridescent jellyfish. Its extending tentacles were sparkling. The crackling electricity grew louder. The water in the fish tank began to boil. Lin Mingyue was startled. What's going on? Could the fish tank be leaking electricity? He quickly unplugged the power cord to cut the electricity. Then he used a net to scoop the subject out and... I absolutely cannot let SQ get into danger. Otherwise, years of work will be for nothing. But then the subject suddenly extended a tentacle, tightly wrapping around Lin Mingyue's body, pulling him into the fish tank. A faint, ethereal voice echoed, "Got you." The girl chosen by the gears of fate. Lin Mingyue was completely bound, unable to struggle. Her consciousness slowly sank into darkness. When she woke again, intense thirst drove her to the brink of madness. The next second, a pair of large hands lifted her. Considerately, the water was brought to his lips. Lin Mingyue's heart jolted. The sensation of the water reminded him of the suffocating feeling of being dragged into the fish tank and drowned by the test subject just now. He was so scared that he pushed away the water mist in front of him. He screamed in terror. "No, no, don't eat me." The water jug fell to the ground. Water spilled everywhere. Gala suddenly became unhappy. "Don't waste it even if you don't want to drink. Water is very precious here." Lin Mingyue suddenly came to her senses upon hearing this. She then realized she had escaped danger. She quickly explained that she had been attacked by AS2 and nearly drowned. Therefore, she was afraid of starving to death. "What kind of strange beast is a Gang 2? I've never heard of him." Garland cautiously continued the conversation, trying to ascertain his identity. Lin Mingyue looked around in bewilderment, only then realizing she was in the desert. She screamed in terror, looking up at the sky. What's going on? Wasn't she in the lab? Garland thought the lab was his tribe. Another unfamiliar place name. He's definitely not a tribesman from the Galaxy tribe. Where's your mate? How could he leave you in this dangerous desert? What tribe? What mate? Mingyue was completely bewildered. I hadn't even had time to think. Before my eyes fell upon the man's fluffy lion ears, my eyes lit up instantly. Fursuit cosplay was his absolute favorite. He immediately drooled and lunged forward. Grabbing the fluffy ears, he buried his face in them. He must be dreaming. And dreaming of his favorite male lion. Jelon suddenly grabbed his hand. He wanted to strangle this arrogant female. Everyone knows that beast ears are his forbidden zone. But Lin Mingyue was lost in the blissful dream of petting the fluffy fur. She couldn't hear a word he was saying. She just held his tail, gently stroking it. Jelon was stunned. A female touching a male's tail means courtship. He immediately rolled over and pinned Lin Mingyue beneath him. He is the chieftain of the Galaxy tribe, and wouldn't be swayed by a beauty trick. He pushed Galen aside, drew his dagger, and pressed it against Lin Mingyue's neck. "Which tribe do you belong to?" he asked, approaching this king. "What is your scheme?" A sharp arrow pierced Lin Mingyue's neck. Blood gushed out, bringing a sharp pain. Only then did Lin Mingyue realize it wasn't a dream. He seemed to have time traveled, and he had encountered danger. The man before him was the true Lion King, and he was about to kill him. What was he going to do? Female scientist, transmigrated beast master. When the rain god can unlock the rain summoning skill with a mere flick of the wrist, the mission is to turn the desert green, and various handsome animal men are vying for her favor. Mingmingyu had just transmigrated, and simply because she spilled a cup of water, she was pinned to the ground by the Lion King, Jelun. Her neck was still pressed against the stone sword. Lin Mingyue was in so much pain she could only scream. To die in a time travel story before the first episode is over? Seriously, he's really embarrassing the time travel army. At the critical moment, an ethereal voice sounded again. The girl chosen by the gears of fate. Lin Mingyue's heart jumped in surprise. Who's speaking? It sounds so much like the sound S2 made when he dragged him into the fish tank. The next second, there was a loud bang in the air. A yellow chick made a dazzling entrance. He is by Dandan, the system. Lin Mingyue was instantly stunned. How did such a yellow thing appear out of nowhere? And why is a yellow chick called by Dandan? Lin Mingyue immediately reminded Galen. Look behind you. That yellow thing is clearly more likely. Go and question him, please. But Galen seemed frozen, motionless. Lin Mingyue waved her hand in front of his face repeatedly. Galen didn't even blink. Lin Mingyue was instantly overjoyed. I don't know what happened. But I'm saved. He carefully moved the thing pressing against his neck. Only then did he have the time to ask Bai Daiden what happened. Could it be that he saved me? So Bai Daiden is a system. And also Ling Lingyue's. One of her cheats. Ling Lingyue pushed the petrified Lion King away. He was completely baffled. What system? What cheat code? What was he talking about? And why bring him to this strange place? He almost died. He wanted to go back. But the system said that due to a new species mutation accident, he was already dead when he was dragged into the fish tank. Luckily, I was chosen by the system to be the chosen one. I gained the rain-making skill. As long as I turn the desert into an oasis, I can send him back to his original world to be reborn. Lin Mingyue was struck by lightning. He was actually murdered by SQ. He had spent so many years studying, working like a dog, from dawn till dusk. He died without ever enjoying fine food or romance. That's such a loss. No, he absolutely has to go back. He needs to quickly understand what's going on with the rainfall and the desert oasis. Bai Daiden told him that this world is made up of 4 tribes, and Lin Mingyue needs to obtain the treasures of these 4 tribes. Combine the 4. Summon the water god. Turn the desert world into an oasis. And the condition to activate the rain summoning skill is to kiss the handsome man. Lin Mingyue was both ashamed and angry. That person was just trying to kill him. And now he wants to kiss him. Doesn't he have any pride? But he's so handsome. It's not a loss to take a bite. And there's your favorite lion. Lin Mingyue's heart began to sway. But she almost got killed just by touching it earlier. She didn't want to die. Bai Daiden couldn't stand it anymore. He directly slapped him over. Their lips crashed together hard. Jelan suddenly became able to move. She stared in shock at the scene before her. The next second, lightning flashed and thunder roared in the sky. Torrential rain poured down, instantly soaking them both to the bone. Lin Mingyue was instantly dumbfounded. She couldn't believe Qingqing could actually summon rain. Jelan was overjoyed. The desert, dry for hundreds of years, actually rained. He excitedly lifted Lin Mingyue and spun her around. She must be a goddess sent from heaven. Lin Mingyue blushed slightly. It's nothing really. As long as there's sufficient water vapor. With the addition of condensation nuclei, it's easy to conjure up rain. Jelan didn't understand, but she still felt he was amazing, truly worthy of being a goddess. Just then, a scorpion's tail suddenly flew towards them, tightly wrapping around Lin Mingyue. Lin Mingyue was in so much pain she almost cried. Nan Sa Ta, the scorpion, kept licking its lips. The female looked delicious, just right to take back for a meal. Lin Mingyue was dying in pain. He didn't want to become scorpion dung. The next second, a stone arrow pierced the dancing scorpion. Sa Ka Chi cried out in pain and loosened its tail. Jelan seized the opportunity and snatched Lin Mingyue back. He held her tightly in his arms. A powerful declaration of ownership. She's my mate. No one is allowed to touch her. A female scientist travels to a desert world to become the rain god. She can unlock the rain-making skill just by kissing a handsome man. But the scorpion man only talks about the beauty of the physical body. The Lion King and the venomous scorpion fought to the death. The female scientist, using advanced modern technology, defeated the venomous scorpion. She gained the Lion King's trust, but she then found herself entangled in a love triangle in the beast world. Just now, the Lion King took Li Mingyue back, and he powerfully declared his sovereignty. Sakaven was shocked. Galen, a lifelong bachelor, actually has a female. This makes him even more excited. He wants to use the tribe leader's female. Just thinking about it is thrilling. Why not take her back and enjoy her together? Anyway, in the Beastman world, females usually have multiple husbands. Ling Lingyue was frightened and hugged Galen's neck tightly. He's not interested in having multiple partners. He sensed his fear. Jelan coldly drew his signature weapon, a bow and arrow, wrapped in crackling electricity. It looked incredibly powerful. He casually knocked an arrow. The next second, countless arrows, crackling with electricity, soared into the sky, engulfing Sokka the scorpion. But the scorpion's body was exceptionally hard. He nimbly dodged the attack. He then swiped a claw at Ling Lingyue. Such a fair-skinned and delicate female is a rare sight in 100 years. He absolutely must have her. Carrying someone made it inconvenient for Galen to fight with full force. So he first set Ling Mingyue aside. Then he leaped into the air. When he landed again, he had transformed into a mighty lion. With a furious roar, he opened his bloody maw and charged. Sokka was instantly enraged. He was actually fighting seriously. Over a mere female. He directly transformed into an 80-meter-long giant crab, lashing out and charging forward to fight. Their consciousnesses collided violently. The fighting movements were so fast, they were only blurs. Lin Mingyue was dumbfounded. A person could actually become such a ferocious animal. What kind of bizarre incident is this? He turned around, and took off running. He certainly didn't want to become some animal's dung. But he was in this desert, completely unfamiliar with the surroundings. Who knows if I'll run into any more strange beastmen? In comparison, at least this lion beast man seems to be intimidated by me. He's even willing to protect me. The priority is to use this lion to protect myself. Then I can slowly figure out how to complete the mission. Going back to the modern world, nothing in this world is free. Lin Mingyue put her hands in her pockets. He pondered how to gain the other's trust. Suddenly, he felt a flashlight in his pocket, one he always carried. An idea struck him. Scorpions are nocturnal creatures, and they fear bright light. This flashlight would come in handy. Thus, the two beastmen's struggle had reached a life-or-death point. Garland bit into Sokka's body. Sokka was about to plunge the venomous stinger on its tail into Garland. Its venom is instantly lethal upon contact. At the critical moment, Lin Mingyue quickly switched on her flashlight. A powerful beam of light shot out, instantly illuminating the giant crab. Sokka's stung eyes throbbed in pain. With a bang, it burrowed into the desert floor. Lin Mingyue froze instantly. He looked around but found no trace of the scorpion. But the next second, Sata emerged from beneath the desert sand behind him. Opening its bloody maw, it lunged at him, ready to devour him alive. At that critical moment, someone suddenly bit the scorpion. Any beastman who dares to harm the goddess should die. With one powerful move, Jelan tore the scorpion in half. Then she held Lin Mingyue tightly in her arms. Lin Mingyue's pupils constricted in fear. The scorpion man, who had just been clawing and biting, instantly became a pile of fragments. Only then did he clearly realize that this was a life-or-death struggle, a matter of survival of the fittest. When he saw Jelan, he thought he was going to be swallowed whole. She immediately fainted from her own frightening imagination. "Don't look at me, please." Jelan was instantly dumbfounded. She didn't know what was going on. She quickly took her people back to her tribe. Meanwhile, a beautiful female was anxiously waiting at the entrance of the tribe. She was Manhwa, the daughter of the former chief, Milia. He had been waiting impatiently. Finally, he saw Garan. He was just about to greet him, when he noticed Garan was holding a female. Manhwa's face immediately darkened. Who is this female? Why is she in Garan's arms? A scientist travels to a desert world where rain can be summoned with a light touch. All the beast men in the tribe vied to marry him. Yet the alpha female suspected he wasn't who he claimed to be. She wanted to drive him out. The priest's divination revealed he could make the desert bloom. But it might also lead to the tribe's extinction. Instantly, the tribe erupted in argument. Just now, Chief Galan carried Lin Mingyue back to the tribe. The whole tribe heard he brought back water and a beautiful female. Many females rushed to offer sacrifices. The others came to watch. Garland immediately gave the rainwater he collected today to Manhwa. He asked him to distribute the water to everyone. But Manhwa didn't care about the water at all. His attention was entirely on the strange female. He immediately questioned Garland, his brother. "Who is this female? Why did you bring her back?" Lin Mingyue is still unconscious. She has delicate features, a stunning figure. Her skin is a beauty unparalleled in the world. Some females envy her beauty, others disdain her slight build. Just looking at him, you can tell he's not capable of doing any work. Jelan recounted how Sokka attacked Ling Lingyu, causing her injuries and unconsciousness. While speaking, he also lovingly caressed the scars on her arm. He blamed himself for failing to protect her. Manhwa's face darkened with extreme displeasure at the sight. She must get rid of this female. Jelan's brother can only belong to her. So, she hypocritically said that the tribe's water resources were very scarce. "We don't even have enough people of our own tribe. I'm afraid we can't accept an outsider." Garland immediately declared that Lin Mingyue was a rain goddess sent by heaven to help Milia. Because shortly after meeting her, the sky filled with dark clouds. Torrential rain suddenly fell on the desert, which had been dry for hundreds of years. And the water he just brought back is from that rain. This is the most compelling evidence. Hearing this, everyone was overjoyed. I can't believe they actually encountered a god who can manipulate rain. Heaven truly hasn't abandoned them. Manhwa, however, was so angry her face turned green. Continuing, Lin Mingyue doesn't look like a goddess at all. She wants to drive him out. But Jelan wouldn't listen to her instigation. Anyway, whether she's a goddess or not, we'll know once the high priest tests her with the divine stone. Soon, the priestess entered, leaning on her staff. Her expression was her usual calm and composed one. Everyone cheered excitedly. They all asked the priestess to use the divine stone to see if the female was a goddess. The priestess heard this, and understood. Her eyes, usually half closed, suddenly snapped open. After all, this was a momentous occasion. The priest removed the crystal ball from his staff. He chanted an ancient incantation, pleading for power from the glorious deity. The crystal ball suddenly emitted a brilliant light, enveloping Lin Mingyue entirely, but he himself remained unchanged. Instead, the deity suddenly fell to the ground. Seeing this, Manhwa cheered. Sure enough, this female has no divine power. Hurry and chase her out. But the priest was full of doubt. He had never seen such a thing before. Although the divine instrument indeed didn't detect any divine power, it shouldn't have suddenly lost its reaction. The priest bent down and picked up the crystal ball. But the moment he touched the crystal ball, he foresaw this future when he saw the gods. This magnetism can indeed manipulate water. The tribespeople respectfully called him the mysterious Maliaye. But the city also attracted the covetousness of powerful tribes. The tribespeople were all killed, and the tribe was occupied. Meanwhile, Manhwa was urging Garan to quickly expel this powerless female to appease the gods, observing his words and expressions carefully. He quickly told everyone what he had just foreseen. A female can bring rain, but also disaster. Whether she stays or leaves is for everyone to decide. A dark glint flashed in Manhwa's eyes. She immediately suggested that the tribe vote, but secretly, she instructed her followers to vote against it. However, the beast men were vying to keep Linglingyu. Some even wanted her to be their female. Jelan deeply understood the importance of water. He was confident he could find a way to solve the ensuing problems. He immediately stood up to claim his ownership. She is my mate. No one is allowed to covet her. Lin Mingyue was awakened by the arguing. As soon as she opened her eyes, she heard this sentence. She was instantly shocked. My jaw's about to drop. Who's his mate? Why is this person talking nonsense again? Man Fei clenched her fists in anger. This mate of unknown origin cannot be allowed to stay. Jelan Gija's mate can only be me. Any mate who dares to compete with me will die. A female scientist crosses the desert for afforestation. To make it rain, I have to kiss a handsome man. And then I have to sleep with a lion tonight. This cave is crude, damp, and creepy like a haunted house. Dinner is raw pork leg. Blood and all, I just shoved it in my mouth. The system is frantically urging me to hurry up and pounce on the handsome man and push him. Just now, Lin Mingyue was tested and found to be fiercely sought after by the beast men of the mysterious tribe, even the Lion King. Garland boldly declared her as his mate. That very night, he took her home. What he called home was actually a cave. A dark and terrifying cave. Pitch black. A hard rock with an animal skin spread on it. This was the only, and most luxurious, piece of furniture in the house, the bed. So tonight, the two of them would sleep together. Anyway, Jelan already considers him his mate. Li Mingyue's jaw dropped in shock. They're going to sleep together on their first meeting? This is way too fast. He's not just anyone. And that girl, Manhwa, likes Jelan so much. If she finds out, she'll probably kill him. More importantly, he doesn't want to get involved in an interspecies relationship. I heard lions have limitless stamina, and a huge libido. If I were to get entangled with one, I'd be completely worn out after just one night. Lin Mingyue felt like her brain was full of cement. What time is it? And she's still thinking about this nonsense. Suddenly, Jelan pulled him into her arms, holding him tightly, regardless. He had already decided that Lin Mingyue was his mate. Manfei was just his sister. Before Lin Mingyue could retort, a rumbling stomach interrupted her. Jelan was amused by his cute expression, but the priority was to have dinner first. It just so happens he hunted a wild boar this morning. This is a rare delicacy. Jelan sliced open the boar's belly, and shoved it straight into Lin Mingyue's arms. Eat as much as you want. Lin Mingyue was completely dumbfounded. The pig's leg is still dripping blood. How am I supposed to eat this? Jelan took a bite. Thoughtfully, she demonstrated for him. You can just eat it like this. Lin Mingyue's stomach churned. She couldn't help but lean over and vomit. That blood, so disgusting. So repulsive. Could it be that this world's civilization is still stuck in the primitive age of raw ant blood? Jelan thought he was ill. He was in a hurry to take him to find Fox Mabai. Only he knows a little medicine here. Lin Mingyue quickly said that he was fine. He just wanted to eat some cooked food, and asked him if he had fire. But Jelan said that fire was a very precious thing, and that there were special people guarding it daily. It's not easy to get. Lin Mingyue was stunned. Even the fire needs special care. This place is too primitive. He could only reluctantly eat some coconut flesh to satisfy his hunger. He'll use the fire again later. That night, the two lay side by side on a bed. Lin Mingyue was too nervous to sleep. The only fortunate thing is that Jelan is well behaved. She didn't act recklessly. But the next second, Bai Dandan jumped out to condemn him. What are you celebrating for? Hurry up and win over this Lion King. Quickly pounce on him and overpower him. Kiss him wildly, take what you want, and then go for a ride on the rocking horse. Linglingyu's cheeks flushed crimson with shame. Wasn't he just supposed to complete the desert oasis mission? What does conquering Galan have to do with it? Bai Dandan reminded him. Only Qingqing can unlock the rain summoning skill. The more she cleanses, the stronger the skill will be, and the faster he can complete the mission. Linglingyu couldn't help but look at the handsome man sleeping beside him. Such a handsome face. It wouldn't be a loss to, But the next second, he wanted to slap himself. How could he be so shameless? He was just having random thoughts. Seeing that he had fallen asleep quickly, Jelan finally opened her eyes. It turns out he was pretending to be asleep just now, afraid of making Lingling even more embarrassed. He was pretending to sleep the whole time. Now he can finally hold her tightly in his arms. In the middle of the night, Lingling was shivering from the cold. She kept calling out that she was cold. Only then did Jelan realize he had a fever. He couldn't be woken up no matter how much he was called. He was clearly unconscious. Garland quickly scooped him up and ran. He rushed frantically to find the fox. Bai, the female scientist, traveled to the desert world to become the rain god. To make it rain, she had to kiss a handsome man. On the first night, she became excited, developed a fever, and fainted. The Lion King, anxious, quickly carried him to find the fox. At this time, the only doctor, the fox, was digging a hole. He dug 700 exits from this cave. That way, no matter where he wanted to go, he could just step out and arrive. Just then, Jelan rushed over, carrying Ling Mingyue, urgently asking him to treat the female. The little fox instantly transformed into a 2-meter-tall muscular man. This cave entrance was one he had just dug. How did this guy find us again? Could he be tracking us by scent? That sensitive nose is so annoying. But seeing the female in Jelan's arms, Bai's eyes lit up instantly. Such a beautiful female, treated like this. What a beast. These rough men really don't know how to take care of females. It'd be better to leave it all to him. He's very good at taking care of people. Jelan quickly hugged the person and dodged. Is it easy for me to find a wife? How can you steal her away? Bai immediately bristled. What does this mean? Do you still want to see a doctor? Galen warned him to curb his inappropriate thoughts. But she is his mate. The two faced off. Neither would yield. War between the males was imminent. They had long forgotten someone was waiting for treatment. At this time, Shi Mian, the sand dune cat, heard the commotion and rushed over. He saw Galen and Bai arguing. He immediately noticed Lin Mingyue next to him looking pained. She was so hot she started taking her clothes off. He quickly reminded the two of them not to make a fuss. This female seemed to be in a lot of discomfort. Bai quickly touched her forehead. His hand trembled from the heat. He instantly became serious. The room temperature was already quite serious. She needs immediate medical attention. Shimian carefully noticed that Lin Mingyue's clothes were soaking wet. Sleeping in her cousin's damp, cold cave again must have caused her to catch a chill. Jialan lowered her head. Sure enough, her clothes were still wet. She remembered that they had both been caught in the rain that afternoon. They must have gotten wet then. But she hadn't even noticed. I blamed myself for a moment. It's all my fault for being so careless. Shilian enthusiastically offered her own clothes, and asked him to change Lin Mingyue into them. Soon, the group arrived at Bai's cave. Jelan brought clothes, but looking at Lin Mingyue's curvaceous figure, he blushed and felt too embarrassed to help. Bai fidgeted restlessly beside them. He wanted to change the female's clothes for him. Jialan immediately became anxious. How could he let someone else touch his female? He closed his eyes, unable to bear watching. He undressed Lin Mingyue by feel, but he had just taken off her underwear. Lin Mingyue suddenly grabbed her hand, pressing it against her own chest. This icy cold feeling is so comfortable. Jialan, however, is a virgin who hasn't had any sexual experience for hundreds of years. Touching a female's soft, large breasts for the first time, he was so excited his head was about to explode. Jialan couldn't take the stimulation. He quickly pressed down on Lin Mingyue, to make him behave. I quickly and clumsily changed his clothes. Bai was amused and laughed heartily. The mighty Lion King actually blushed. Jialan was instantly furious with embarrassment. She snatched the medicine bowl from his hand. Then she sent him a wild boar as payment for the medicine, and incidentally, to shut his annoying mouth. On the surface, Bai showed disdain. He wasn't after the wild boar. He just thought the female boar was adorable. But secretly, he was drooling at the thought of it. He hadn't eaten wild boar in ages. Finally, he could have a hearty meal again. Galen gently lifted Lin Mingyue. He brought the medicine to his lips. But in his unconscious state, Lin Mingyue resisted the bitter medicine with a grimace. He pursed his lips and refused to drink. The medicine dripped down his chin. Jialan was extremely anxious. How can the illness get better if he doesn't drink the medicine? He could only gulp down the medicine himself. Then he cupped Lin Mingyue's small face and kissed him. He fed him mouth to mouth. A modern female scientist accidentally time-traveled. Beastman as goddess. Kissing various handsome men every day. Awakening new skills, Scorpion, and teaching the charming Lion King a lesson. And a fox. Cute and clumsy. Who can heal and save people. Dig. Give massages, and act cute to win favor. And Huang Ji was urging him to expand his harem beside him. Originally, Lin Mingyue fell ill, had a fever, and fell into a coma. The Lion King, Jialan, brought him to find the fox, Bai, for treatment. He even gave him medicine mouth to mouth. Lin Mingyue was stimulated by the bitter taste in his mouth. He woke up in a daze. He opened his eyes and was stunned. He was met with a stunning beauty. Jia Lan's cheeks were flushed red. Her expression was hazy. She was holding herself and kissing passionately. Such a beautiful scene must be a dream. Of course, one can do as one pleases in a dream. Lin Mingyue directly hugged Jia Lan tightly. She turned over and kissed her fiercely. The action was unrestrained and passionate. Jia Lan was so startled by his impetuous actions that she pushed him away forcefully. Lin Mingyue was completely unprepared. She flew out 30 meters. Jia Lan, blushing, wiped the medicine stain from her lips. You're finally awake. It seems Mo Bai's potion was somewhat effective. Lin Mingyue was stunned by this. So the bitter taste he experienced was because he was drinking medicine. This wasn't a dream. Lin Mingyue was about to crack. What had he just done? He was so shameless. At this moment, Bai Daiden jumped out to cheer for him. Congratulations on unlocking the new skill, Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, the skill is still cooling down and unusable. Lin Mingyue hadn't expected that acting like a hooligan could unlock a new skill. This kind of cheat is so embarrassing. I'm immediately applying for a change. Bai Daiden was even more excited upon hearing this. I can change it. I can change it. It can be changed to anything, even kissing another person of the opposite sex can trigger the cheat. For example, that fox-like handsome man next to him who's interested in him. Lin Mingyue was speechless. What he wants to change is the trigger mechanism. It's not about changing people. At this moment, the fox Mabai suddenly grabbed his hand, kneeling on one knee and offering himself. I am Mabai, the fox. I'm very cute. I wonder if you'd be willing to be my mate? I can not only dig burrows, but I also know medicine. She can dig herbs. She can give massages and act cute. She's also considerate. Small and cute. Lin Mingyue twitched her mouth. The primitive world is really straightforward. They constantly want others to be their females. He quickly pulled his hand back. We only just met. We're not even close, this is moving too fast. Mo Bai instantly transformed into his fox form. Blinking his big, watery eyes, he started acting cute. Lin Mingyue was instantly stunned. This little fox was simply his ideal type. Especially that fluffy, big tail. It made him drool. Adorable little fox. May I pet your tail? The little fox nodded reservedly. After all, touching the tail is equivalent to courtship. Lin Mingyue immediately hugged the little fox. She grabbed its fluffy tail and rubbed it vigorously. It's so soft, smooth, and comfortable. The little fox winked at the Lion King triumphantly. See? Females really do like me best. Jia Lan's face turned ashen. He felt the green hair on his head shining brightly. He pulled Lin Mingyue into his arms. Since everything's alright, we should go home. Then he pulled her and quickly walked outside. At this time, the little fox quickly chased after them, holding his clothes on his head. Wait! You dropped your clothes. Lin Mingyue turned around and froze. Wasn't this her own clothing? How could it be with the fox? Lin Mingyue subconsciously looked down. She was instantly shocked, speechless. Who changed her clothes? Scientist transmigrates and becomes the beloved of beast men. Handsome men of all kinds beg her to open a harem. But he just wants to have his cake and eat it too. The Lion King transforms into a cute and obedient prototype to coax his wife away. He must also be the main wife in his harem. At this time, Lin Mingyue's face flushed with embarrassment. Last night, this man actually changed her clothes while she was unconscious. Jia Lan, however, didn't think much of it. Changing clothes for his female is his duty. But he didn't get her permission. So Jia Lan still changed while keeping her eyes closed. Ling Lingyu finally breathed a sigh of relief. She was relieved that she hadn't been seen naked. Seeing this, Jia Lan became unhappy. She angrily grabbed his wrist. She questioned him about what he was dissatisfied with about her. Ling Lingyu's heart trembled. She quickly put on a smiling face and said she wasn't dissatisfied. After all, he is my lifesaver. Besides, the Lion King is so strong. His hand hurt so badly he was in tears. If I spoke any less politely, he might get angry. Jia Lan quickly let go, obediently sitting back down. With a sad and wronged expression, she asked him why he didn't want her to change his clothes. Lin Mingyue didn't even know his name. They're practically strangers. How could he possibly be willing? Jia Lan readily introduced himself. My name is Jia Lan. I am the chieftain of the Mylia tribe of the Galaxy tribe. What's your name? And what tribe are you from? What's your clan? Lin Mingyue didn't know what to say upon hearing this. Modern people don't have tribes or clans. But Jia Lan's expression suddenly turned serious. He thought she had been expelled from her original tribe. He imagined the bullying that lone females would suffer in the wild. Jia Lan angrily smashed a wall with his hand. He hugged Lin Mingyue protectively. No wonder she was so resistant to contact with males. He wouldn't let anyone bully her again. But the two of them were almost pressed together, feeling the woman's curvaceous form. Jia Lan couldn't help blushing and her heart pounding. Her breathing quickened. Lin Mingyue's wolfish heart also began to stir. He quickly pushed Jialan away, using his last reserves of self-control. They had only known each other for a day, and he hadn't even agreed to be her mate. So what would it take for you to agree? Jialan pressed his hand onto her firm pectoral muscles, her eyes shining with sincerity. Lin Mingyue was instantly captivated by the pectoral muscles, and began to think seriously. The first step should be getting to know each other, right? Before she could finish, with a bang, Jialan transformed into a miniature lion. He remembered that Lin Mingyue had really liked stroking his tail last time. Jialan immediately threw herself into his arms. She dependently rubbed against him. It was the first time he'd let her do this. Jialan blushed with shame. Lin Mingyue was instantly struck by a moment of confusion. This fluffy feeling was so comfortable. She couldn't help but reach out and pet it. Only a moment later did I suddenly come to my senses. I remembered that last time I only touched Jialan's tail, and I was already identified as his partner. Who knows what this touch will be misinterpreted as this time. Ling Lingyue quickly withdrew her hand in fright, staying 800 meters away. Even if Jialan is an adorable little lion, I wouldn't agree to be his mate. After all, only mutual affection can make one another partners. But Yalan doesn't understand what mutual affection means at all. In the beast world, it's always been about taking what you want. If you're too slow, the female will become someone else's. Actually, compared to one man, one woman for life, Lin Mingyue would rather have two furry companions at her sides. That's what a winner's life should be like. Just then, a wave of coldness poured down on her. It instantly jolted Lin Mingyue awake. She realized that a torrential rain was actually falling inside the cave. Moreover, the rain clouds only appeared inside the cave. Jialan was excited, jumping and shouting. The desert, which had been dry for hundreds of years, actually had 2 consecutive days of rain. I'm so lucky. He excitedly took Lin Mingyue's hand. The shower only fell where he appeared. It means he is the mission of rainfall. Jialan couldn't help but kiss the goddess. Thank you for coming to the Melia group. We really need you. Lin Mingyue passively leaned against his strong pectoral muscles. I'm so embarrassed, I could practically burst into flames. How did we end up kissing again? A female scientist crosses the desert to create green spaces. Petting fluffy creatures every day makes her a winner in life. She not only carries a rainmaking skill with her, but her harem system is incredibly powerful. She can even make a priest's crystal ball explode. The Lion King needs a kiss from him 100 times a day. I can't even eat. Lin Mingyue's legs went weak from the kiss. Leaning against the man's strong chest muscles, she gasped for breath. Jialan apologized to him awkwardly. She had been too excited just now. Lin Mingyue didn't have the energy to be angry with him. This kiss led to another downpour. Lin Mingyue was completely drenched. Jialan quickly picked up an animal skin and held it over his head to shield him from the rain. Lin Mingyue was slightly stunned by the sight. She hadn't expected this savage beast man to be so considerate. Her heart felt a little warmer towards him. Actually, Jialan also wanted to be a considerate female. She wanted to hold the umbrella for him continuously. But water is too precious in the desert. He had to get to the town to tell the townspeople to collect water. The grandfather could only awkwardly ask Lin Mingyue to hold up the animal skin by himself. Before leaving, he looked at him reluctantly. He promised to return immediately. He even cunningly revealed his furry tail. Sure enough, Lin Mingyue's cheeks flushed red. He quickly warned himself to be strong. Don't be swayed just because a handsome guy is being nice to you. Although the desert sun was extremely scorching, but it's nothing compared to the heat of Jialan's cheeks. Jialan's little heart was pounding wildly at this moment. Could this be what Lin Mingyue meant by like? Soon, everyone from the tribe ran to the cave to fetch water. It was the first time they had ever seen it rain inside a cave. It seems this female is truly a divine bird. Lin Mingyue, however, had a splitting headache. This place is breathtakingly primitive. Not only can he not make a fire or eat raw meat, he can only use leaves to collect water. This miraculous event caused a sensation again. Garland rushed over to tell Lin Mingyue that the priest wanted to see him. But as soon as they met, the priest took out the divine stone again, chanting ancient incantations. He prayed to the gods for guidance, asking if this girl possessed divine power. Lin Mingyue gazed at the shimmering divine stone, her heart filled with doubt and curiosity. This place actually had witchcraft, so he had transmigrated to a primal beastman world with magical elements. Lin Mingyue was originally a botanist and zoologist, and now, the researcher's spirit burned fiercely within him. Just then, Jialan suddenly shouted in terror, Xiaoxin. Then he rushed over, pushing Ling Lingyu to the ground to protect him. With a loud whoosh, it exploded. Lin Mingyue was a little scared. If Jialan hadn't protected him just now, he would have been disfigured by now. At that moment, the priest cried out in pain, his face contorted. It looked like he'd suffered a serious injury. The two were startled. They quickly ran over to support the priest, but the priest recovered quickly. It turned out he had only suffered backlash from the divine stone. This divine stone had been passed down through generations of priests. Unexpectedly, it shattered into fragments in his hands. But Galen only cares about one thing. Is Lingyue a goddess? Unfortunately, even the priest doesn't know about this situation. He's never heard of it. He only knows that Mingyue's identity is beyond human comprehension. Galen suddenly grasped Ling Mingyue's hand, standing firmly by her side. I believe in Mingyue. He repeatedly brings us good fortune. The rain will surely bring us good luck. Meanwhile, Manfai, eavesdropping outside the door, gnashed her teeth in hatred. Why does that Jian Ci get to hold Galen's brother's hand? And what right does she have to Galen's brother's good luck? She absolutely must find a way to get rid of that female. But before Manfai had gone a few steps, she ran into the beast man who secretly loved her. Blushing, she gave him a stone necklace. Manfai looked down on these unremarkable fellows. She pushed him away with a cold face. She just wanted him to leave. But the next second, a sudden flash of inspiration struck her. This was perfect to use him to deal with Ling Mingyue. So Manfai smiled sweetly and accepted the necklace. Taking the opportunity, she asked the beast man to do something for her. A female scientist plants greenery in the desert with a handsome man. But she's pursued by assassins sent by a rival. First, they offer him colorful poisonous mushrooms. Then, she pins him down and kisses him. Finally, she transforms into an 800-meter-long lizard. And takes a bite. 00, name/pronoun, is terrified. Unfortunately, the Lion King isn't there to help. Otherwise, he wouldn't have returned to the mountain from the tribe alone earlier. Speaking of which, Lin Mingyue felt overwhelmed with emotion. She was busy from early morning. A family's child went missing. They came to ask Jelan to help find the child. An elderly person in another family couldn't eat meat and wanted vegetables. They also came to Jelan for help. The whole day, Jelan hasn't had a moment's rest. Lin Mingyue even feels tired on his behalf. This isn't a clan leader at all. He's clearly just a salaried laborer. To avoid causing Jelan any trouble, Lin Mingyue could only return to the cave alone. But along the way, he felt something was wrong. He felt like someone was following him. He was constantly uneasy. He couldn't help but look back again and again. But each time, there was no one behind him. Only the boundless desert. Lin Mingyue couldn't help but suspect it was his illusion. Little did he know, his feeling wasn't wrong. Since leaving the tribe, the orc, Rez, had been following him. Behind him. But Lin Mingyue was too alert. She looked back every 10 steps. Lacey was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. This kind of bad deed isn't something everyone can do. But thinking of Manfei's beautiful face, and her sweet words and smiling face directed at him, Lacey's whole heart felt a tingling numbness. The goddess finally pleaded with him once. She even went home with him, allowing him to touch and kiss her. In a hushed, sweet voice, she begged him to help get rid of the female who would bring misfortune to the tribe. The goddess's touch was truly exhilarating. Reese decided to help him eliminate this unfortunate female. His gaze fell upon the colorful mushrooms nearby, and he had a sudden inspiration. This method would ensure he wouldn't be suspected. So less boldly chased after her. He enthusiastically called out, "Goddess." Lin Mingyue turned around in confusion. She saw that the newcomer was a strange male. His face full of gratitude, he introduced himself. He said he was a townsperson from Malaya town. Les, to express his gratitude for the goddess's gift, wanted to give a gift to show his appreciation. Lin Mingyue immediately recognized these mushrooms as poisonous. She kindly warned him not to eat them. Les dryly laughed, insisting that the mushrooms were not poisonous. He also said his family ate them frequently. Could it be that the divine lady finds the gift too meager to accept? Lin Mingyue patiently explained to him. This kind of mushroom is called Amanita phalloides. After accidental ingestion, symptoms include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Then it erodes the internal organs. The mortality rate is extremely high. She also reminded him to destroy these poisonous mushrooms as soon as possible, to avoid anyone accidentally consuming them. Reese was instantly speechless. Because the symptoms described by the female were all accurate, he was instantly enraged. He pushed her hard. Lin Mingyue was completely unprepared. She fell to the ground unexpectedly. Les didn't expect that she would actually recognize him. This poison fiend is indeed difficult to deal with. No wonder Manfai entrusted the mission to him. Les leaned down and pressed on top of her. He restrained Lin Mingyue's arms and legs. Lin Mingyue was unable to move. She fearfully asked what he wanted to do. Les originally wanted to kill him directly, but looking at his pretty face, and explosive figure, he felt it was a pity. He couldn't help but stick out his tongue and lick it. Indeed, the taste was incredibly sweet. I immediately decided to enjoy myself first. Under the moonlight, I directly unleashed the child-severing kick. I kicked him hard. In an instant, everything was in chaos. Resen's tears flowed uncontrollably. He felt he would never love again. He was instantly furious. That magnetism was truly too dangerous. He must be killed immediately. Reese instantly unleashed a devastating attack, transforming into an 800-meter-tall lizard. He roared angrily towards the sky. Although she had seen it more than once, Lin Mingyue was still quite frightened. The beast mode was truly terrifying. The lizard opened its bloody maw and lunged. Lin Mingyue screamed with fear, her eyes closed. Jelan, save me. The savage man, having just time traveled, was chased and forcibly kissed by a lizard. The lizard wanted to take him back to make him into a human-shaped lamp. It was all because his tribe considered him a goddess. This attracted the bigwigs of the animal kingdom, all vying for the village belle. They unilaterally developed a hatred for him, wanting to steal their husband. They tempted a lickspittle to kill him. The lickspittle transformed into an 8-meter-tall lizard. A monstrous brain chased after her desperately. Lin Mingyue ran until she was out of breath. In her 2 lifetimes, she had never run this hard. And this place is far from town. She definitely wouldn't be able to catch up and ask Jelan for help. In her fluster, Lin Mingyue accidentally kicked a stone. Immediately, she lost her balance. He fell hard to the ground. With a scream, he tumbled forward, rolling head over heels. The lizard seized the opportunity to give chase, letting out a triumphant, cackling laugh. Now let's see how he'll escape. Lin Mingyue was startled. Suddenly, an idea struck her. He grabbed a handful of sand and threw it in the lizard's eyes. As a zoologist, he knew, of course, that a lizard's weakness was its eyes. Sure enough, the lizard's eyes burned painfully. It couldn't see anything, seeing him flailing wildly. Lin Mingyue suddenly had an idea. This time, he had to get himself out of danger. Lin Mingyue deliberately ran to a place with many rocks. The lizard's tail immediately swept over. It slammed hard against the rocks. In an instant, the rocks crumbled and shattered. One of them, by a stroke of luck, hit him in the face. Soon, the lizard was knocked unconscious. Lin Mingyue took the opportunity to run to the town. But this journey had exhausted all his strength. He was finally seeing the danger receding. The tension in his heart immediately released. He could almost reach Garan. But he truly had no strength left. He instantly collapsed to the ground. He passed out. Before losing consciousness, he kept calling Garan's name. But the next second, a foot came down hard on his hand. Man Fei's jealous expression was contorted. This bitch, even facing death, dares to call Garan brother. Today, she'll learn what it means to suffer. Meanwhile, late into the night, Garan finally finished his tribal business. Carrying a large bag of wild fruits, hurrying towards the cave. This is the fruit he specifically found for Lin Mingyue. He stayed home all day. He must be starving. But just as he neared the cave, he saw someone lying on the ground. He went to investigate and found it was Reese, a beast man from the Jing clan. He had a large bump on his forehead, and his whole body was covered in wounds. Unconscious. Jelan quickly took him to see the fox, Mo Bai, for treatment. Luckily, Les was only hit on the head by a stone. It's nothing serious. But Jelan still paced back and forth worriedly. Mo Bai got a headache watching him. Such a minor injury, is this really necessary? This is like not believing in his medical skills. Jelan didn't have time to bicker with him. He was worried about Mingyue. It was so late, and she still hadn't returned to the cave. It was unusual. Jelan was just about to go out and look for her, when he bumped into Manfai. He had heard that Lei Si was injured and had come to visit Jelan. Wen Yen stepped directly in front of him. He wasn't usually such a kind person. Why would he suddenly change? But before Jelan could ask, Reese suddenly coughed. Jelan subconsciously looked behind her at the sound. Manfai immediately seized the opportunity, darting in front of Reese. He held onto his hand tightly. Mo Bai wasn't so easily fooled, however. He asked Reese directly what had happened, and how he had collapsed on the road. Reese blurted out, "I was going to see that woman." Before he finished, Man Fei fiercely pinched him. He cried out in pain. Then Man Fei gently touched her hair and softly said that Ares had long been captivated by her. She blushed instantly, but the next second, Man Fei whispered in her ear, ordering her to slander Ling Lingyue. So Ares said she didn't know what happened. She had originally gone up the mountain to hunt rabbits today, but unexpectedly, the divine lady stopped her. He even knocked him unconscious. After saying that, he nervously looked around. He pretended to search for his own fruits and prey. Hearing this, Galen's killing intent exploded. Does this guy think I'm a fool? Lin Mingyue is a goddess. How could she possibly covet someone else's food? A scientist travels through a desert world to become a rain god, but he is tragically pursued by an 80-meter-long giant lizard. I barely escaped, only to be imprisoned by my rival. I've also been falsely accused of knocking out my tribespeople and stealing food. Only the Lion King is frantic with worry for me. He violently suppressed the tribespeople who were spreading lies. He captured the culprit and subjected them to harsh interrogation. Anyone who harms my Mingyue will pay the price. Since Lin Mingyue disappeared, the Lion King, Galen, has been anxiously searching everywhere. He searched the entire mountain. He scoured all of Milia town, but he couldn't find Mingyue's trace. And the whole of Milia town was in an uproar. Everyone was gossiping that Lin Mingyue was a spy. No one knows what underhanded methods she used to deceive everyone's trust, to lower their guard. I heard you knocked out Reese last night. and stole his food. Luckily, Reese is tough. He survived. Although Galen heard the rumors, he didn't have the energy to care. He only wanted to know where Lin Mingyue was. But the orcs came to him, dissatisfied. Force him to hand over that spy, Lin Mingyue. As the chieftain, he brought a spy back to the tribe. He should take responsibility. Jalan's expression suddenly turned cold. Who is spreading the rumor that Mingyue is a foreign spy? The beast men were all startled. They were no match for the chieftain, combined. Their hearts wavered. Aren't everyone saying the divine maiden is actually a spy? Galen frowned and stared for a moment. I knew it was what Reese said last night that got spread around. When he heard Reese say those words last night, the killing intent in his heart couldn't be suppressed. Reese was scared pale. He quickly stammered a retraction. Actually, it was all just his speculation. At that time, Les warned him sternly, don't keep things to yourself without evidence. If you dare to spread rumors, and ruin the reputation of the socialite, I'll make you regret it. Garland became even more anxious. The top priority was to clear Lin Mingyue's name. Otherwise, if Lin Mingyue is found by tribespeople who believe the rumors, I still don't know what they'll do. Garland arrived first. He found a similar location. He carefully observed the bloodstains on the ground. Suddenly, he discovered that besides the similar scent, there was another person's scent and bloodstains. He guessed that Lin Mingyue was injured and bled here. And he also identified Lin Mingyue's footprints from the messy footprints on the ground. Garland flew into a rage. He immediately stormed into Les's house. I've already investigated the whole story. You're lying. Les was instantly taken aback. He stammered, trying to make excuses. Xiaolan grabbed him by the throat and lifted him into the air. After hurting Mingyue, he dares to turn the tables on me. He found scraps of Mingyue's clothes on the rock wall outside the cave. Clearly, he pushed Mingyue against the rock wall. Then he transformed into a beast and hunted her down. She fell and got injured while escaping. Lu Siwen was shocked, speechless. How could he know? Lu Si still tried to argue. It's because Mingyue stole his food. Jalan punched him in the face. He had prepared so much food in the cave. How could Mingyue possibly have stolen from him? He dared to plot against Mingyue and hurt him. Such a villain deserves to die. Jalan beat Reese to a pulp. Until the priest heard the news and rushed over, quickly stopping him, saying that if the fight continued, Reese would die. Then they would completely lose the lead to find Mingyue. Moreover, the priest had predicted during divination that Lin Mingyue was still alive. Garland then calmed down, grabbing Reese and questioning where Mingyue had gone. Unfortunately, Reese didn't know either. At that time, Lin Mingyue blinded him with sand. He only knew that he fled down the mountain. Jalan immediately ordered, it's time for everyone to atone. Everyone immediately went out to search for the mysterious scientist, imprisoned by his vicious rival. He was so hungry that he had lost his senses. He wants to demand his life from the King of Hell, from everyone he sees. He wants to cling to the King of Hell's leg. This is onomatopoeia expressing whimpering, leave as is. Don't rush to claim his soul. Order some food first, my dear. Lin Mingyue has been locked in the cave for 3 days. He's too hungry to even crawl. The kidnappers only left him a bowl of water before leaving. As a result, the bowl was so broken that she spilled some of it. Lin Mingyue could only rely on the remaining bit of water to survive. And the system, by Dada, was still playing dead. It couldn't help at all. Lin Mingyue pitifully hugged the small broken bowl, sipping the little remaining water. Bit by bit, her mind was full of braised pork, ramen, pizza, and durian. I'm so hungry I feel like my soul is about to leave my body. Maybe this time next year will be my death anniversary. If he dies, I'll definitely have to go to the underworld and cling to the King of Hell's leg to cry and complain. He's definitely the most tragic time traveler in history. First, he was killed by the research subjects. Then he time traveled to the primitive world and starved to death. That's such a waste of a life. Just then, a sudden, tremendous boom echoed. A large hole was blasted into the cave. Intense sunlight poured in. Lin Mingyue hadn't seen light for a long time, and she wasn't used to it. Through her blurry vision, she could only make out an 8-meter-tall, strong man. Shenzhou still radiated light, like a god. Lin Mingyue had long since lost her senses. Scared, she called the police. She wailed uncontrollably. Your Majesty Yen Wang. Have you come in person to claim my life? Are things that busy in the underworld these days? Jialan was both worried and heartbroken. Poor Mingyue, what happened? He quickly scooped her up horizontally. He rushed to find a doctor to save her. Lin Mingyue smelled a familiar scent. Only then did she finally pass out, relieved. Soon, Galen brought him to Mo Bai's house. She lovingly wiped the dirt from her face, regretting her own uselessness. I couldn't find Mingyue sooner, making him suffer so much. As long as I can help him recover quickly, Jialan is willing to do anything. Mo Bai's movements are so fast they're a blur. What's with the long face? Aren't you already preparing the medicine? It's a pity Lin Mingyue was hungry for too long. He's overexerted himself. Only Soulflower can help him recover. We need to get him some. But soulflower grows in the stone forest. It's full of dangerous beasts. It's very difficult to harvest. Garland remembers the tribe has some soulflower left. He's desperate to get it and save him. But then Manhwa bursts in with the tribespeople. He vehemently objected. He didn't expect this seemingly heartless beauty to be locked up for days, and still be alive. Luckily, he had a backup plan. This person had spilled all the water stored in the cave. That was the tribe's entire water supply. Such a person could never be a god. Don't even think about wasting the tribe's heart flowers. Galen's teeth clenched in anger. He couldn't believe his own people were such ungrateful fools. He didn't believe Manhwa would deliberately knock over the tribe's water supply. Since you're unwilling to hand over the heart flowers, then I'll go to the stone forest to gather them myself. I won't use anything from the tribe. Then he entrusted Manhwa to Mo Bai's care. There's a lot of food stored in the cave. We can take as much as we need. Mo Bai excitedly patted his chest. He guaranteed he would take good care of Manhwa. Maybe he'd even have a chance to move up in rank. Jialan angrily shoved Manfei aside, who was trying to block her way. Her eyes were full of disgust as she looked at him. Why are you always targeting Manhwa? Are you satisfied now? Manfei felt her scalp tingling under his gaze. Unbelievable. Brother Galen is actually glaring at me like this for Manhwa. He's using such a fierce look. I'm furious. Manhwa, you just wait. I have plenty of ways to get rid of you. The girl had only accidentally knocked over a bowl of water. The orcs were clamoring for his death. They wanted him sentenced to death. He was sick and wanted a bowl of soup, but he couldn't even start a fire. He had to teach the orcs how to make fire by friction, while he was ill. Manhwa was unconscious at this time. The Lion King went to pick star-piercing flowers, leaving Manhwa in Mo Bai's care. Kijialan just left. Manfei started to attack, accusing Manhwa of overturning the town's water storage. He is a sinner of the tribe. Manfei, taking advantage of her numbers, forced Mo Bai to hand over the person. Mo Bai let out a derisive laugh. He wouldn't hand the goddess over to a pack of ungrateful ingrates. Manfei flew into a rage. Another fool bewitched by a she-demon. Seize Manhwa for me. At his command. The beast-men instantly turned savage, roaring as they charged forward, but facing the ferocious giant lion. Mo Bai didn't dare move an inch, firmly protecting Manhwa behind him. But he wouldn't engage in a head-on clash with a pack of beast-men. Mo Bai scooped up Manhwa. He leaped. He plunged directly into the opening in the corner of the cave. He disappeared. This was the tunnel he had just dug to see Manhwa. The lions hadn't expected to miss. They could only remain where they were, in vain. Roaring in impotent fury. Kumabai's underground passage is like a maze. And it's full of traps. They dare not jump down to chase them. Manfei instantly gritted her teeth in anger. She didn't expect that Mabai had actually dug this underground passage beforehand. But it's unnecessary to risk their lives for a dying person. Meanwhile, Mabai and Manhwa were hiding in the underground passage. Luckily, he prepared food and drinks in the tunnel. He only dug this tunnel a few days ago. It was for easy access to meet Linglingyu. Now, Manfei probably has blocked it off. But he's a master at digging tunnels. Just around here. He's dug hundreds of tunnels. Manfei definitely doesn't know which one they're in. Mo Bai couldn't help but kiss his forehead. He prayed for him to wake up quickly, as if his prayer worked. Manhwa suddenly coughed painfully. He murmured, so bitter. Mo Bai was overjoyed. Little Manhwa finally woke up. He joyfully grasped Manhwa's hand. Every time I see you, you're so weak. Don't do this next time. But Manhwa looked around. Before he lost consciousness, he seemed to have seen Jalan. Why is he nowhere to be seen now? Mo Bai pressed a finger to his lips. He's too weak now. I need to conserve my energy. I can't talk anymore. Do you want to eat some fruit to settle your stomach? Manhwa obediently shook his head. He gestured with his small hand, indicating he didn't want to eat. This adorable appearance instantly melted Mo Bai's heart. He couldn't help but pat his little head. What does he want to eat? Manhwa pointed at her mouth to indicate something. Didn't he just say he couldn't speak? Mo Bai burst out laughing. Immediately leaning in close, she let him whisper in her ear. This would reduce some energy consumption. I want to eat porridge or soup. Warm breath sprayed against her ear. Mo Bai found Su's mother's words inexplicably comfortable. He quickly covered his ears. He took 3 steps back. What are kanji and gruel? He had never heard of them. Manhwa then realized. There wasn't even a fire here. How could they eat kanji? Why don't we improve our food now? It's a good chance to teach him how to cook delicious food. Mo Bai, following his instructions, started to make fire by friction. He spun the stick like a top. Soon, flames erupted. Mo Bai was scared and immediately transformed into his beast form. He fiercely threw himself into Manhwa's arms. As a beast, he fears fire the most. Holding this fluffy and soft little Manhwa's heart almost melted. I really want to take him home as a pet. Just then, A soul flower fell to the ground with a thud. Galen, who had just returned, saw this scene, and instantly became enraged, baring his fangs. That stinking fox dared to undermine me while I was away. Die. This is a man's mistake. A woman's atonement. The men here made a mistake. The women are tied up and made to atone. They're even punished by having to bear 80 children a month. Male beast men can drool and just take whatever they want. But male beast men who make mistakes get away with it. There won't be collective punishment. Hearing this, the female scientist who time-traveled was furious. This gender discriminatory rule absolutely has to be changed. Just now, the system suddenly popped up a prompt, activating the plant identification function. Lin Mingyue grabbed. Huang Jizai, this guy finally appeared. When I was in danger, you were playing dead. Now that it's safe, you finally show up. What good are you to me? By Dayton, wronged, admits defeat and surrenders. He's just an ordinary little system. I can't interfere with the host's judgment and actions. By Dayton obsequiously offers a plant atlas. This is a super useful treasure. Ling Lingyue curiously places her finger on the small sphere. In an instant, the small ball shot into him like a beam of light. His mind was immediately filled with countless botanical charts. The feeling was truly extraordinary. And this function also came with a plant space. As long as it's a plant he's already identified, he can store it inside. And the capacity is enormous. He can fit as much as he wants in there. Lingling was astonished and speechless. She never expected this golden finger to have so many amazing functions. How many more surprises did this journey hold that he didn't know about? Meanwhile, Les was imprisoned in a dungeon. He was injured, and without water or food. He was starving, looking like a ghost. But his only worry was whether it would implicate Manfai. Just then, Manfai secretly opened the dungeon door. He had just knocked out the guard. He specially came to rescue Reese. He also fabricated bad news to deceive Reese. Galen was infatuated with Lin Mingyue. He wanted to kill Reese to avenge Lin Mingyue. Reese was instantly shocked and terrified. The chieftain actually killed his own people for a female. Manfai urged him to flee immediately. She told him to seek refuge with the desert falcon, Zeta. Zeta and Galen are mortal enemies. He'll definitely be willing to take him in. And he can bring a message as a token of good faith. Tell Zeta that Galen obtained a mysterious artifact that can bring rain. Then Zeta will definitely come to seize Ling Mingyue. If I can't get it, I'd rather destroy it than leave it for someone else. Man Fei's ugly face could hardly conceal itself. The next day, Gala returned to the tribe with Ling Mingyue. Back to the tribe. The children excitedly came out to greet them. The priestess heard that the leader had gone to the dangerous stone forest to pick elf flowers, and immediately worriedly took his hand and asked if he was injured. Jelan gently stroked the child's head, comforting him. Thankfully, the goddess's healing worked. His wounds healed quickly. The children's eyes were instantly filled with admiration. The goddess not only brings rain but also heals. She's truly amazing. Just then, Reese's mother and sister were led past, bound. The children told them that Reese had escaped prison last night. They seized his mother and sister to atone for his crime. Lin Mingyue looked puzzled. It was clearly Reese who had committed the offense. Why should his mother and sister atone for it? And why doesn't his father have to atone? Jelan said Reese's wrongdoing was due to his mother's poor upbringing, and his sister's failure to stop him. She said they also bore responsibility for his crime. My father went hunting to support the family. His neglect of his children is understandable. Laming's lungs are about to burst. What kind of nonsense is this? Failure to teach is the father's fault. How is it that the father perfectly hides himself yet blames the woman? Laming rushed to stop him, the victim. What are they saying about others? Why should the criminal's family suffer? Lan quickly chased after him. His body hasn't recovered yet. Running so fast will make him uncomfortable. Mo Bai was thoughtful. Mingyue's words make sense. Moreover, failure to teach is the father's fault. That phrase is interesting. Meanwhile, Manfai tied Reese's mother and sister to a high platform, and summoned all the orcs of the tribe. The orcs were salivating, eager to have children with them. Manfai, with malicious intent, announced that she would throw them into the captive camp, to receive the orcs' punishment, to bear children until death. Reese's mother and sister cried in fear, but no one paid them any attention. The orcs were all cheering wildly. Lin Mingyue suddenly rushed over. She vehemently protested. A female scientist travels through time to become a spokesperson for women. It's unfair that only women are punished for men's mistakes. And they're even to be forced to have sex 1,000 times a day as punishment, simply because this rule has been around for centuries. Anyone who dares to question it is disrespecting our ancestors. They must be killed in front of everyone. Just now, Man Fei announced that she would send the two females to be prisoners. She welcomed everyone to go to sleep and have babies. Lin Mingyue jumped out to object. Man Fei immediately pointed at him and started cursing, calling him a sinner who had ruined the town's entire water supply. You have no right to object. Lin Mingyue felt wronged. When he woke up from his coma, the water had already been spilled on the ground. But Manfei wouldn't listen to his explanation. She directly ordered his arrest. He was imprisoned in the prisoner of war camp with the two females. Manfei was acting with impunity. Anyway, no one saw him knock over the water storage. Lin Mingyue simply can't produce any evidence. Unexpectedly, Jialan shielded Lin Mingyue behind him. The Lion King's roar stunned everyone. I'll see who dares to touch my Mingyue. But Manfei pressed on relentlessly. He made a mistake. He must atone. If you have the ability, then make it rain immediately and return the water. Lin Mingyue was thinking about how to make it rain quickly. Then use the goddess's identity to save the innocent women. But although the idea is good, Bai Daiden reminded him that the rain-making skill is still cooling down and temporarily unavailable. Lin Mingyue was about to be driven mad. Why is my skill always on cooldown when I need it? Looks like I'll have to find another excuse. Li Mingyue simply decided to go for broke. She started to talk nonsense. Although she is a goddess, each time she summons wind and rain, she needs to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The last rainfall depleted her spiritual energy. She needs to wait for a while. Manfei let out a derisive laugh. Who knows how long he intends to withhold it? Does he want us all to die of thirst? Their anger was roused by him. They all pressed Mingyue to bring the rain quickly. They certainly didn't want to die of thirst. Jialan couldn't bear to see Mingyue being bullied. She immediately stepped forward, guaranteeing that she would transport a batch of water back from Izita before the rain came. Now will they finally accept it? The Lion King's furious outburst erupted. Everyone was terrified, speechless with fear. No one dared to say another word. Anyway, as long as there's water, everything will be fine. Only then did Mo Bai curiously ask about his earlier shout of protest. The imposing presence of Ziyun, Mingyue, and Baichi, the divine women. He loudly ordered me to oppose Manfei's punishment of the mother and daughter. Quickly release them. Risa's mother and sister were miraculously saved. They were all moved to tears, looking at the goddess. But Manfei resolutely refused. That's how Malaya always punishes the relatives of criminals. Why does he dare to oppose? Everyone else glared at Lin Mingyue with disgust. What right does an outsider female have to interfere? Because I am the goddess. Just because it's always been this way doesn't make it right. Heaven sent me to save the world. And I will change this injustice. These males think it's fair because they're the beneficiaries. But as a fellow female, why should I collude with them? He could even casually say welcome everyone to punish them. And make them pregnant, such shameless words. And those females who silently watched, aren't they afraid that the same fate will befall them one day? The females were all speechless. The orcs were indeed very dissatisfied. Could it be that they'll just let Risa's assault on the guards and escape go unpunished? Lin Mingyue simply despised him. If you don't want to calculate, then go catch them. What kind of skill is it to bully the weak and women and children here? What you do, heaven sees. The reason why he absorbs the spiritual energy of heaven and earth so slowly, is the retribution for everyone's cruelty, ignorance, and foolishness. Risa's sister cried her heart out, begging the goddess to save her. The females also began to realize something was wrong. Why did the females do nothing wrong? Yet they must atone? And why are only the females spreading rumors and babbling nonsense? Suddenly, a roar rang out. Simultaneously, a giant axe cleaved towards Lin Mingyue. He was about to enjoy these two females at will, and have them bear him many children. It's all that meddling Jian Xi's fault. Lin Mingyue was instantly terrified, but he couldn't dodge at all. A female scientist time travels to a world of beast men to fight for women's rights, but she almost got chopped into mincemeat by a beastman's axe. The Lion King directly killed him with one sword. Who dares to disrespect the goddess? Don't blame me for being merciless. It was only because Lin Mingyue led the protest against the collective punishment of women, that the orc hated her for delaying his sleep. The woman swung an axe at her. At the critical moment, a sharp sword pierced the axe. Xian resolved the crisis. Lin Mingyue patted her chest in fear. She almost died just now. His eyes welled up. Jialan angrily gripped his bow and arrow. That bastard dared to attack the goddess. Does he think I'm dead? Molan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, Mingyue is alright. Otherwise, he, a non-combatant, wouldn't have been able to save her in time. Xianmian, his cousin, looked on with adoring eyes. The team leader is so handsome. So imposing. Luckily, he helped get the bows and arrows beforehand. Jialan knocked another arrow, aiming at the culprit. I told you so. Nobody move. EU, do you not take the chief's words seriously? The orc who just committed murder trembled with fear. He trembled and quickly confessed and begged for mercy, even though he didn't think he'd done anything wrong. Garland shot an arrow straight through his thigh. Force is the only way to deal with such a person. The old orc cried out in pain. This is just a warning. Anyone who dares to disrespect Mingyue again, I guarantee I will kill them with one strike. The goddess just said. It is precisely because of the foolish continuous cropping punishment that has led to the lack of spiritual energy in Milia town, making it impossible for Galan to hold Lin Mingyue's hand. and express his full support for her decision. And in the name of the clan leader, he announces the abolition of the continuous cropping system from now on. One person does the deed, one person takes the responsibility. The females cheered joyfully. They would no longer have to worry about being inexplicably thrown into the prisoner of war camp. Others ravaged them. But the orcs were furious. They could have slept with women for free. Now they've lost that advantage. Lin Mingyue was deeply moved. Without Jelan's support, she wouldn't have been able to do it with her own weak strength. Thank you, Jelan. Thank you for always trusting me so much. You've always been there to help me. Garland froze for a moment. His heart suddenly began to beat rapidly. This was the first time Mingyue had smiled at him like that. However, Manfai's face contorted in extreme displeasure. She impatiently urged Garland to quickly go fetch water from Azeta. Until Reese found Sita, I will make sure Lin Mingyue dies without a proper burial. Then, Galen Gidge will be mine again. Lin Mingyue quickly released Reese's mother and sister. The little girl cried and threw herself into her arms. If it weren't for the goddess, her life would be over. Lin Mingyue hugged her, gently comforting her. If anyone dares to bully you again, tell me and the chieftain, and we will punish them. Jelan looked at her with a doting expression. How many more surprises are there that she doesn't know about? Just then, a scream suddenly rang out from beside them. Lin Mingyue jumped in fright. Turning to look, he saw a pregnant woman clutching her stomach in pain. Blood flowing between her legs. It was clear she was about to give birth. Garland urgently ordered someone to take her to the priestess's house. Only the priestess knew how to deliver babies. Among the orcs, childbirth was a sacred event. The team leader must be present. Lin Mingyue followed without a word to the sacrificial ceremony. She pressed on the pregnant woman's belly and chanted incessantly. The pregnant woman was in so much pain that her cries could be heard even through gritted teeth. Lin Mingyue was shocked. The birthing method here was, just chanting incantations? Is she kidding me? After a long while, the pregnant woman fainted from the pain. Pale as a ghost, gasping for breath, Jelan screamed in terror. He had seen pregnant women like this before. There was no saving her. Mo Bai arrived breathlessly. He brought Pishan's herbs, but it was too late. The priest had already withdrawn their hand. His aged face was full of sorrow. Is the tribe truly cursed by the gods? Why won't heaven grant them newborns? Lin Mingyue was instantly shocked. Are they going to give up on the pregnant woman and the child? The priest covered the pregnant woman with a blanket. He truly was powerless. But Lin Mingyue volunteered to help with the delivery. He had taken a medical first aid course before. It might come in handy. A scientist performs emergency aid in Beastman Harbor. The method of childbirth here is to chant incantations. It looked like it was going to be a double fatality. The female scientist quickly volunteered to take over. Finally, she helped the pregnant woman successfully give birth to a baby beastman. All the beastmen came to kneel and kowtow. The goddess truly has divine protection. Just now, the pregnant woman was already gasping her last breath. Even the priestess had given up. Lin Mingyue quickly volunteered to help with the delivery. The priestess hesitated for a moment, worried that she would be blamed for causing the woman's death. Garland firmly supported Lin Mingyue. Even if it doesn't succeed in the end, it's better than doing nothing. Mo Bai followed suit, desperately trying anything. Besides, Mingyue is a divine being. She must have a way to save her people. The priestess finally made up her mind to try, silently praying in her heart. May God bless us. May Maria's capture be successful. Lin Mingyue immediately assigned tasks. Jelan is responsible for finding fruit to replenish the pregnant woman's strength. Mo Bai is to prepare knives, animal hides, and hot water. Everything must be boiled in hot water. And speed is essential. After the amniotic fluid broke, the baby is prone to oxygen deficiency. They don't have much time left. Mo Bai immediately panicked. The place where the fire starter is stored is too far away. A round trip would take a long time. Lin Mingyue quickly patted his face to calm him down. He forgot about the fire he had made by friction last time. Mo Bai suddenly flew into a rage. He turned and ran outside. He needed to immediately build a fire and boil water. The tribespeople were all gathered outside the house. They heard that the priest had given up, but the priestess said he could live. Everyone was waiting for news. But then they saw that Mo Bai wasn't inside helping. Instead, he was outside drilling a piece of wood. Very quickly, sparks began to fly from the wood. Then, with a bang, a small flame ignited. Everyone was instantly shocked and terrified. This is a precious fire starter. Mo Bai actually made fire. Mo Bai lit the firewood. She proudly showed off the incredibly difficult fire-starting method the goddess had taught her. Hearing this, the crowd believed even more that the goddess was a treasure bestowed upon Milia by heaven. They rushed to kneel before the goddess, begging forgiveness. Mo Bai quickly stood up and stopped them, preventing them from causing further trouble. The goddess was struggling against the heavenly god, saving the Malia newborn. No one is to disturb the goddess. Meanwhile, Lin Mingyue was placing herbs near the pregnant woman's nose and mouth, hoping to stimulate her to wake up. Wake up quickly. Your child needs you. You can't give up on yourself like this. He used the first aid knowledge he learned during his internship. First, he pinched her Renjong acupoint and checked her pulse. Then he pressed her Baihui acupoint. He also used invigorating herbs. Lin Mingyue tried everything. Finally, he successfully revived the pregnant woman. But the pregnant woman was still very weak. Lin Mingyue quickly took Galen. Hand him the fruit. Let him eat it to replenish his energy. Then have him follow your commands. Adjust his breathing. Try not to shout. Conserve his energy first. Mo Bai's hot water was ready by now. He brought in a large basin of it. But Lin Mingyue felt it wasn't enough. She immediately assigned the task of heating water to Zhelun. Then she instructed the priest to use hot water to wipe the pregnant woman's body. Speed up the process. Mo Bai was responsible for massaging the pregnant woman's acupoints, to help her relax, and alleviate the pain. Lin Mingyue's expression was very serious. The real hard fight is just beginning now. The three of us will work together from now on. After a period of hard work, a baby's cry suddenly came from inside the house. The baby was finally born safely, and in very good condition, very healthy. The mother looked at the baby with its strong cry. I shed tears of joy. Mo Bai and the priest were already sobbing, but being able to save both mother and child, it was worth all the hardship. Galen lovingly wiped the sweat from Lin Mingyue's brow. He is Malaya, the light of hope for the tribe. To have met him, what incredible luck. Lin Mingyue stared blankly at the giant Yi, looming before her. She was instantly drowned in his overwhelming tenderness. Suddenly, the sound of thousands calling for the goddess arose. The shock made them quickly separate. Both were completely pale with fright. All the tribespeople were seen kneeling respectfully on the ground, begging the goddess to forgive their previous impoliteness. From now on, we will await the divine maiden's commands.